So in big picture, I actually just kind of wanted to start with something you try and establish early on in your book, which is the difference in your mind between storytelling proper and story branding, that you were kind of trying to make a distinction between those two practices. And I wanted to
Right.
let you kind of lay the groundwork on that for our discussion here.
Well, yeah, and I'm glad you asked because it's a source of a lot of confusion. Story branding and storytelling are, you can find them in the same toolbox, but they're similar as a flat edge and a Phillips screwdriver. They have very different purposes. Storytelling is really about, as you might imagine, telling, communicating, and it's a form of communication. Story branding is what you do before you tell the story. You figure out what the story should be. And it's a process that was developed for that purpose. Storytelling is like any other communication technique, a very powerful one, albeit it is a technique for communicating and persuading. Story branding uses story structure. And I can tell you a little more about that later, I guess, but uses story structure to help people to better relate to what a brand is all about.
Yeah, and so how did you stumble upon this? Because your background is in branding and marketing, and how did you come upon the story angle?
Well, as you know, brands have tangible characteristics, logos, color palettes, the product design, things you can, just reach out and touch. But they also have intangibles, the way people feel or thoughts associated with a given brand. And that part's a little harder to get your head around. And, trying to explain to somebody what the intangibles are and how to make the most out of them is a little like trying to explain quantum physics to me. And good luck with that. That'll never happen. But it gets very complex. So in an effort to really help people to understand that part of branding, I zeroed in on something that everybody can relate to, and that is stories. There was a study that was conducted by a guy by the name of Robin Dunbar. He's an evolutionary biologist at Oxford. And over the course of many years, he's conducted studies and has determined that close to 2/3 of our conversations are in the form of somebody doing something to accomplish some goal, whether it's gossip or a recount of an experience, what have you, but we're always telling stories. So, I thought, hey, there's the ticket. If I could relate brands to stories somehow, or the concept of branding, and especially the intangible part, to what a story is all about and how it's structured, it might be something that people can better relate to.